Hi, then we're back. Today I'm just gonna talk quickly about the Airbnb situation in Ho Chi Minh City. So Ho Chi Minh City has a ban on restrictions or a ban on short-term rentals such as Airbnb. That means you can rent apartments in Ho Chi Minh, but it need to be longer than 30 days duration, and you need a contract. So if you want to rent a residential apartment in an apartment building, it need to be longer than 30 days, and you need to have a contract. If not, you get problems. That is according to the news. So key details: the ban based on the 23 housing law. So it is actually a law, and the ban is based on the housing law from 2023. It target the residential complexes where homeowners have been renting out units without licenses, and has caused conflicts with some long-term residents that actually live there. Now, there is some risks with Airbnb that everybody know, last minute cancellation, and things like that. So that's Airbnb in general, and the other thing is like the future. How is it gonna be, the ban in Ho Chi Minh? This ban is not for all Vietnam, but it is for Ho Chi Minh City. And while currently banned, the city is now studying. They try to learn. They try to find out how to deal with this. So they want a more strict approach for the future and more regulated frameworks, and that may allow for registered short-term rent. But so far they don't know. They are looking into it and they see what they can. So why did the ban in Ho Chi Minh? Why did it come a ban here? Well, Ho Chi Minh City has exploded in the sense of it's a lot of luxury apartments here, luxury buildings, luxury apartments. People want to stay here. It's cheap. They have pool. They have gyms, and people want that. So we have some people come here as backpackers and they save up some money, and then they rent a luxury apartment in Ho Chi Minh for 3 to 5 days, and then they move on and stay in hostels and stuff for the rest, like they normally do. We have people coming here on holiday. They choose apartments instead of hotels. And we get a lot of tourists into these apartment buildings. With that, there became a lot of like conflicts. So many of these tourists, they were drunk and made a lot of noise. And this is not a hotel. This is not a hotel. This is not a resort. People live here. People go to work the next day. Children go to school the next day. People need sleep. So that is a disturbance that people don't appreciate. Furthermore, there was some check-in, and they go to the receptionist and the security. This is not a hotel. It's not their job to check you in and fix for you. They don't work for you. Sorry, they don't. So that was another problem. Then we got the other problem with elevators. There was a lot of lines and queues with the elevators. People paid a lot of money to buy these apartments, to buy these homes, and they don't want to come home from work and stand in a queue for the elevator because so many tourists want to go up and down and check all. They want to check out all the facilities. So that was another thing. Then we had some apartment buildings had problem with drugs. People were doing drugs. People were doing gambling, which are all known things that come with Airbnb. And the last one, these buildings are not built for hotel business. These buildings are built for people live here. It's an apartment building, simple as that. there isn't enough elevators. So the safety issue is another huge thing in Ho Chi Minh. That's why the ban come, and it's a very sensible and smart ban. So if you want to go to Ho Chi Minh City, do not go to like apartment buildings, because what will happen? The police not gonna take you. I can say that. But what the police will do and how it works. So you come to this apartment building. It a little different from building to building how they do it, but I know at least here where we live, the security and stuff, they don't do much. They don't say much. The security, they don't have the job to stop you, but they do record you. There is cameras outside of the building. There is cameras inside the building. There are security personnel. If you think you come here and nobody see you, then you are cuckoo, because here there's camera everywhere. You get seen, even if there's nobody, even if you don't see a security person or a receptionist. They sit in a room and they have cameras, and they sit 2-3 people there and watching. They know when you come, what time you come, what day you come, what elevator you go in, because the cameras in the elevators as well. And you go up to the floor, and they know exact what apartment you go into. So they know. The other thing is, then they will come knock on your door and ask who you are, because in Ho Chi Minh everybody need to register. When we bought here, we need to register with the police who live in the apartment. If you rent here for 1 year, the landlord need to go to the police and register the ones that rent from him or her. So that's how it is. So when you come Airbnb, they need to register you, and if they don't do, then that's another problem. So the thing is, what happened? You come here, you go up to that apartment, the security will come knock on your door, and they're not going to do much. They will ask some questions, maybe ask you to leave. Many times they don't understand English, and they will then contact some others to talk to you, or the landlord or the agent, whoever you rent from. And then that agent or the landlord need to come, and they talk Vietnamese, and they will get a fine. So that is very simple. The landlord, the owner of the apartment, get a fine. Sometimes they don't want to listen to the security, and then the security do the only thing they can, and what they should do, they call the police. The police will come, the landlord get the fine. But you, as the Airbnb guest, get told to leave. So you need to find a hotel. Now, let's say you land in Ho Chi Minh. You just come to this apartment building. You stayed here. It's sometimes it take a little time, so maybe an hour or two, and then you suddenly need to get out and you need to find a hotel. Now you see that you need a hotel fast and this and that, so it may cost quite a bit more. So it's not a good situation. And if you are smart, you just basically book a hotel or a condotel. If you absolutely want Airbnb, then you rent a house. So you have townhouse and you have villas. But apartment buildings in all of Ho Chi Minh City is banned and regulated by the Vietnamese law, and the law now in Ho Chi Minh City, and also the management companies have their own rules. So here in Sky 89 where we live, Seabree is the management. So they have rules. They have totally prohibited Airbnb and short-term rental in Sky 89 and River Panorama. And then you have the Vietnamese law backing that up. So you have the rule from Seabree, the management, you have the Vietnamese law, and you have the Ho Chi Minh law. That means any people living here. That means if I meet somebody on that's here in the building on Airbnb, I can just call the police and I can get them out, because I live here, I own here. And when I call the police, I have the law in my hand, I have the rules from the management in my hand. So any resident can in fact call the police. It doesn't have to be the management, doesn't have to be the security. It can be anyone owning or living in the apartment, because we have the law in the hand, the Vietnamese law, the Ho Chi Minh law, and the rules from the management. So as a tourist or a traveler or whatever, digital nomad and so on, you can rent apartments, but it have to be more than 30 days. So it have to be more than 1 month, and it has to be a contract, and you need to register with the police. If you do not do that in Vietnam, you get problem in the sense that they will tell you to leave. Worst case, they will escort you out of the building. The police will escort you out, and you need to go to a hotel. And everybody know, if you go to a hotel late, it can be fully booked or almost fully booked, and then the prices are at the top. So then it get very expensive. So and you never know who is the host, the Airbnb host. So maybe they give you money back, and maybe they don't. So then you lose money on top of that. So it's a little shit way to start your holiday. Now you know a little why the ban come, why it is there, and like I said, the Vietnamese, they are looking at a way to, what should I say, make it better, but still regulated and more strict. When, if that's gonna come and how it's gonna be, I don't know. But for now, that's how the law is, and people need to apply. You just don't go to Southeast Asia and you start out by breaking the laws. That is very, very stupid. And there are enough information on internet. If you you search on YouTube, you search on Google, it come up. If you search Vietnamese news, it come up. It's everywhere. It's a little research before you go is very smart. And if you're living in Ho Chi Minh, and some live here and they have contract for long, and some they do short term, because they don't have jobs. They are digital nomads and they run around. Now I'm in Ho Chi Minh for 2 weeks, then I go Da Nang 2 weeks, then I go Nha Trang 2 weeks, then I go Vung Tau 2 weeks, then I go Phu Quoc 2 weeks, then I go Hanoi, and that is not legal. Sorry. In apartment buildings in Ho Chi Minh. You can do in Hanoi. There is no law about it in Hanoi, but you cannot do in Ho Chi Minh. You can do in Da Nang, you can do in Nha Trang, you can do in Vung Tau. Well, Vung Tau is under Ho Chi Minh now, so you cannot do in Vung Tau. You cannot do it in Binh Duen, because they are now part of Ho Chi Minh City. So you need to find a condotel for Airbnb, or you need to find a house or a villa, beach villa, something like that, and that is legal to rent Airbnb. But apartments in apartment buildings is not legal. Sorry. And if you think there are a few that is legal, they need 2 licenses. So they need a license as a business household, so that is 1 license they need. And to rent out to foreigner, they need some kind of tourist license or something. So they need basically 2 licenses, and they need to pay tax. So the owner of the apartment need 2 licenses, and he need to pay tax of all the income from Airbnb. And he need to register every guest with the management and the police. Then you can do it legal. So if you want to check and you want to live in an Airbnb in an apartment in Ho Chi Minh, it is possible, but you need to do a very thorough check. You need to ask, are you operating legal? And many operate illegal, and many will lie. So you need to know about that, because they're after the money. Simple as that. But you need to make sure as good as you can, as much as you can, that if you want to rent an apartment, that you are on the legal side. And you need to understand that in general all apartment buildings and apartments in Ho Chi Minh City are off limit for Airbnb and short-term rent. So as you know that, you can make a little better decisions and you can do it correct. So that's it for today. Now you know a little how it is, because many say, oh, the new law is updated, and they review it and they look at it. Well, they are looking at it, but nothing changed. So it's still the same law. There is nothing new yet. We probably get to know something maybe in the end of 26 or in 27, because they say there is no change to this at least before 2027. So that could be like we don't know anything before January 27, March 27. So until then, that's how this is the law. This is how it works in Ho Chi Minh City. So yeah, feel free to come, enjoy, but remember, you are in Southeast Asia. You need to behave, you need to follow the laws, and it's not fun to not follow the laws here. That's not a good thing. So that's it for today, guys. Remember to subscribe and like, and yeah, see you again next time. Bye bye.